What's good, everybody? Once again, it's your boy JB9 Deuce, represent JB Speakeasy, the black platform of black men. Once again, speak freely. Once again, I say this is your host, JB9 Deuce. Thank you guys. I just did a show. Please go check it out on my No Weapon podcast where I talked about the end times, April 8th, and what is to be expected from that. But right now, I'd like to thank you guys. Today we'll be discussing something very near and dear to me as a black man, where I'm going to be talking about men's mental health. That is not just mental health, but the issues that men go through. Okay? Now I'm grabbing a couple of, I'm getting a couple clips that I had in my, in my email, Men's Appreciation. And I have a few of them actually that I want to go through. I'm trying to check and see if this is the one. But today, I'll be just discussing with you guys. Oh, perfect. Let me stop right here. Okay, let me stop right here. But as a matter of fact, let me stop this one and do this. I'm going to build a presentation where it's actually going to be a clip. I'll do a few clips, but this is the one by Chris Rock where it talks about the pain in being a man. And I really want ladies to take notes on what we go through as men and how kind of our mentality and how the world treats us. Let me restart this, but I do want y'all to listen to this real quick. Here we go.
Is only love under the condition that he provides something.
Here we go, guys. Oh man, did I just?
Are loved unconditionally. Women, children, and dogs are loved.
All right, let me play this one more time, guys, for y'all. Hold up.
Children and dogs are loved unconditionally. Women, children, and dogs are loved unconditionally. A man is only loved under the condition that he provides something. There's a coldness that you have to accept when you're a man. Only women, children, and dogs are loved unconditionally. Women, children, and dogs are loved unconditionally. A man is only loved under the condition that he provides something. There's a coldness that you have to accept when you're a man. Only women, children, and dogs are loved unconditionally. Women, children, and dogs are loved unconditionally. A man is only loved under the condition that he provides something. There's a coldness that you have to accept when you're a man. Only women, children.
Okay, guys, I'm about to play another one for you guys, another clip, because I'm going to do a few of these clips, and then I'm actually going to get into my monologue because I want to talk about men, our issues, what we go through. You feel me? Now, let's go ahead and play this clip. Here's another one about men's peace. This is about men's peace. Let's do it.
Not status. Do we want those things? Yes. But where we find peace, we will settle. So when I tell women, you need to be a man's peace, you need to make sure he has a peaceful home and a peaceful relationship. If you disturb that, he will look for peace elsewhere. Peace is what a man is looking for. Not beauty, not money, not status. Do we want those things? Yes. But where we find peace, we will settle. So when I tell women, you need to be a man's peace, you need to make sure he has a peaceful home and a peaceful relationship. If you disturb that, he will look for peace elsewhere. Peace is what a man is looking for. Not beauty, not money, not status. Do we want those things? Yes. But where we find peace, we will settle. So when I tell women, you need to be a man's peace, you need to make sure he has a peaceful home and a peaceful relationship. If you disturb that, he will look for peace elsewhere. Peace is what a man is looking for. Not beauty, not money, not status. Do we want those things? Yes. But where we find peace, we will settle. So when I tell women, you need to be a man's peace.
Okay. I got a couple more for y'all too. Then I'm going to get into my monologue. Let me see. Go back to men's appreciation. I have a bunch of clips I would love for the lovely ladies and just for us the men to agree upon. You know what I mean? It's not just for the ladies. I know I'm not just going after women and ladies. I want men to be heard. That's the whole point of me starting this. Let me see. Is this the one I'm looking for? Because I got like a few reels. And, you know, when you look through the reels, sometimes you don't. Oh, man. Nope. I already did this one. Chris Rock. Man Appreciation 4. Yeah, it's a lot of things that go unspoken, especially in the black community, about black men's issues and black men's mental health. But before we get to that, I just want to get through a few of these. All right. I know this pisses off some people, but he made a good point with this, and I just want people to check it out. Listen. You know what, guys? That is a great point. Shout out to Andrew Tate. I know a lot of you guys do not like Andrew Tate, but on my channel is what I always tell you when it comes to generalizations and open topics. What do I always say? Eat the meat, spit out the bones, which is an old school terminology for saying get what you can get from it and throw out the stuff you don't need or don't want out of it. But always try to get something for everything. Anyway, Andrew Tate made a very great point just now, and I want to elaborate on that. Men, this is our duty to the world. I'm going to get into what our creed is supposed to be as far as men and practicing morals and principles that I'm going to get on with. But first, I'm going to start what he said. He said what makes a good man is a man doing what he's not supposed to do. I mean, doing what he's supposed to do without getting credit for it. I agree with that. I agree that there's several times I woke up, no matter what, I did different jobs in my life. There's times on each one of them, because I used to stay on jobs a few years or so, or a year or two. Each job that I started at, there was times where I did not feel like going, but I said, I got to get my behind up and go anyway. You feel what I'm saying? I got to do this anyway, even if I do not want to do it. You feel what I'm saying? And so here we go. I'm going to comment a little bit more, and then I'm going to get back into the clips. But I do want to also comment on a few things he said. A man, sometimes you're not going to feel like wanting to deal with certain stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you're not going to want to deal with certain people. Sometimes men need to be by themselves. A few days ago, basically, I was in a situation where I wanted somebody to understand, like, when it comes to men, how we operate and understand moving around us accordingly. For example, men, a lot of times we will be going through the most in the world. We'll be going through the most. But a lot of times, us as men, one thing about us we like to do is sometimes we don't feel like talking about things out loud. We'll just, sometimes need to get to ourselves and think things through. Men are thinkers. We're the logical creatures, so we have to get time to be logical, meaning, okay, let me take a look and do a real evaluation of my life. I've gone through it. Most of my homies gone through it. And that's another thing about men. With our male camaraderie, meaning getting together as men, we're able to analyze, critique each other, agree where we agree, disagree where we disagree. But it's all for the improvement of being a better man. A better man. And part of being a better man is recognizing where your flaws are and trying to correct them, but knowing where your strengths are and trying to improve them, increase them. And so right now, I'm just doing this show as an encouragement to men and any ladies that's watching so they can get an idea of what it's like to be a man. You get what I'm saying? Or understand, so maybe you can move around your boyfriend better, your homeboys better, whatever situation you are. Ladies, this is also something to help you out. But men, this is mostly concentrated on us. And what I'm saying is, another thing about men is sometimes we don't feel like vocalizing everything out loud. A lot of times because we're processing it inside. Because a man usually has to think before he speaks, because you don't want to say something that's wrong and be misunderstood, or you don't want to put yourself in a position where violence has to ensue, or you might lose your job. It's not even always violence. Sometimes you might lose your job. So you have to have mind over matter. That is mind over matter. And when you have mind over matter, you can conquer anything in life. Here's some principles that I believe all men should live by, including myself. And a lot of these are biblical, so I know that's my reassurance. Number one, a man must have honor, meaning something that he lives for, something that is something about him that is a true attribute of character, was when you have honor. And it ties into something that a man's supposed to have called integrity, doing the right thing because it's of the right thing to do. And that's the only reason that you need to do it. It's the premise behind the man doing what he's got to do and he doesn't get a cookie for it. That's where that idea comes from. The fact that a man is supposed to have integrity, do the right thing just because it's the right thing. You get what I'm saying? Like as a man, for example, if you have a kid out of wedlock, your integrity will be, even if I don't like his mother, I should be there for my kid and get along with his mother for the sake of the kid. That's just one example, just an example. Or a man that knows, you know what, my boss said something to me I didn't like how he said it, but there's one or two ways I can go about it. I can go off on him, or I can bring it to his attention a different way and say, excuse me, sir, I understand that such and such was supposed to be done, but can you not speak to me in that manner? Because at the end of the day, we're both grown, but we're also, I know we're on a job, but we're both grown. There's a way to do things, you know, because I'm supposed to do it. Because my natural reaction to get off on them like we would do in the streets. But when it's on a job, you can't necessarily do the same thing. You get what I'm saying? So that's where I was kind of coming from when I talk about men. We're supposed to have a certain creed. A man's supposed to have a sense of self-control, meaning that no one can get you off your square or get you away from what you know to do right when you know it's right. There's nobody on this earth that should talk you into doing wrong without you acknowledging that you have a part in this too. It's also called plays into accountability and responsibility. Men must have this. Another thing about men that we leave out, drive. Have something that motivates you to be better. Drive is what gets us down this lonely road for men called life. You have to have a drive. And what it usually is, the driver of that is perseverance, meaning no matter what obstacles I face, to continue to push through. I don't care how hard it is. It's easier said than done, but it's supposed to push through. Even the Bible backs it up where it says that a man that will get blessed with the eternal life will be the one that endures to the end. What is endure? The root word of endurance. Then where God also tells us to do this, as well as men, we got to do persevere. Persevere and endurance walk hand in hand like mac and cheese, because when you have a what goal, that's what you're persevering to. Just like we said, going to heaven. My goal is to live a godly life so I can make it to heaven. So if you say my goal is to be like with me, I'm in school for cybersecurity. My goal is to be a cybersecurity information analyst, computer information analyst, excuse me. In order to do that, I have to take this 6 to 7 month program. You get what I'm saying? That's what that's my goal. That's where I'm driving to. That's where I'm putting all my perseverance and endurance, meaning it's going to be late nights. I'm going to have to stay up. I'm going to lose some sleep. I'm going to struggle in certain classes. I may not get along with the professor, but all these things is part of me enduring to the end and persevering to get through. Now, one of my biggest things, the idea of a man's character, meaning strength of character, meaning the strongest attribute that represents me. Usually you want it to be something positive or something that concretes you in doing what you need to do as a man, right? But there's even this is my most important one. It's called being as a man. Once you set your standard, to be uncompromising to what is righteous or what you know is right. This is kind of, I'm not going to say corny, but there's a movie that I was watching, and one of the main characters I got a lot of admiration from. He said this line, and it made a lot of sense. He said, or his girl said to him when he was losing confidence, because he was a very confident brother, very strong. He's the character. He's the symbol of what righteousness is outside of Christ. You know what I'm saying? And his girl, one time he was going through it because she had died, and a quote came up in his mind that re-inspired him when he was down. She said, compromise where you can. Where you can, don't. Because even when someone's trying to tell you something wrong is right and the right is wrong, it's up to you as a man to stay concrete, stay founded upon on what Christ would say, on the rock. But even in this lady in the movie, she said to stay grounded and say, no, I won't be moved. You'll be moved. You see what I'm saying? And that's how we're supposed to be as Christians. What did God, Jesus say? He says, any man who hears my words and do them, I will make him likened to a man who built his house upon a rock. When the storms came and winds blew, he did not fall, because he was founded upon the rock. But also Christ warns us about doing what? He says, I'd rather not be like the foolish man who heard his words and did not do them, built his house on sand, and when storms came, winds blew, it fell, and great was the fall of it. Let's look at Jesus' parable. When the winds came and the storms blew, that was during the enduring process. He stood. Why? Because he stood on the word of Christ. Well, as a man, we need to stand on what we say we won't compromise on. That usually focuses us to becoming what is called a what? Better man. And so I'm just trying to do this show today to encourage men. You get what I'm saying? To bring men into, a sense of understanding that these are some things we can live by to help us out. But right now I'm going to get back. But those are my attributes for what a man is supposed to be and having strength of character. Now I'm going to get back to doing my men's appreciations, of course. And some of these are clips from Instagram I thought were very important. Hopefully this number 2 is the one that I was looking for, because I got a bunch of these clips. But here we go. Okay, let me see. Okay, real quick. Present. Screen share. All right, this is one is for the ladies real quick. You feel me? This is for the ladies so they can gain some understanding, because I hear a lot of women ask, well, why men do this? Why men do that? So this isn't to bash women or nothing. This is just to give women a clarity and understanding. I don't agree with every single thing he says, but for the majority of this, I do actually agree. Here we go. It's okay, here we go.
The energy I need, or you gonna massage me and rub me and be feminine, be submissive, or you gonna do all that. Right. I don't care how many degrees you got. Exactly. I don't care how good you argue. I don't care how bad. Like, that don't matter to a real man. Right. Especially out here in this world today as a black man. Like, we go through too much. Ooh. We be gonna go home and we just want to be, you know what I'm saying? Just feel loved and just be like, yo, I know I'm gonna go home. Like, a man will be at somewhere else, just, man, I can't wait to go home. I'm gonna come home. My girl gonna take my damn socks off. She gonna do this, and I'm just gonna have the food ready. The game gonna be on. Let's go relax. So imagine being out working all day, knowing you're gonna go home to some more work, especially when you elevating her life. Right. Those are my only rules. I say, baby, listen, I'm gonna take care of you. I'm gonna make sure your life easier. I'm gonna do everything I need to do as a man. Only thing I ask you to do is be respectful, be loyal, and just be nasty. That's all I want. Right. Or you gonna be the lover I need you to be. Or you gonna be peaceful. Or you gonna bring me the energy I need. Or you gonna.
All right, guys. Now I'm back. But yeah, back to my creed of what a man is supposed to be. Ladies, I know some people have said that I do certain things, or I speak of certain things in the way I talk about men and women dynamics. This is the part of my show where I wanted women to understand what us as men go through. We go through a lot of stuff that we do not actually talk about, nor do we want people to feel sorry for us. Because the worst thing of a man in the world is we don't want to be looked like we want people to feel sorry for us. You know what I mean? So let me go ahead and clip this in. So I was just, saying, I just posted this so women can understand. As a man, ladies, I want y'all to understand we go through a lot. We're not just these heartless asshole buttholes that go around trying to break your hearts and do this. We go through a lot. And as a black man, we go through more than the average man because we're trying to get past the dysfunction that comes our way just because we're black, So I'm going to get into another clip. And this is also why I'm waiting for people to want to come up. You get what I'm saying? Let me see if number 10 is the one I'm looking. Men's appreciation. Oh, Dr. Umar Johnson, guys. Let's play this. I got one from Dr. Umar Johnson. I usually disagree with most things that he says because of some of his stance against my belief system. I must take a different approach towards him, but I do agree what he's saying about black men in America with this. Not everything do I agree with him with, but I do agree with him on this one. And let us go and hear what Mr. Dr. Umar has to say.
Is because we're the only men in America who are not allowed to flex their masculinity in society without people being threatened. Mm-hmm. This is why we always lead with our chests stuck out. We always leading with our bravado, our machismo, our male ego. Why? I can't flex my masculinity in the stock market, at least not up until now. You understand? I can't flex my masculinity on my job. I can't flex my masculinity in the political world. Anywhere the black man goes, if he stands confidently in his masculinity, he's considered a threat. So now let me bring it back to what you just said, because it's related. The reason why your elders and my elders, and I'm dealing with this right now, by the way, on the political side, older black men intimidated and envious at what you've done with your life. First of all, don't react to the envy. You have to humble and discipline yourself not to react to the envy, because if they had the opportunities you had, they wouldn't be envious. So there's a humility that we have to flex in the presence of our elders. Respect their struggle. You feel me? Come to them humbly. Sometimes you got to dim your light to make the elder comfortable. That's okay if you're doing it in the long-term interest. The reason why we...
Okay, I actually want to speak on this, guys, while I have your attention. And shout out to everybody on Instagram. But what he just said about black men in America is very true. Since the induction of this country, black men have been held back from showing our true masculinity because of how intimidating we are to other races. That's since we've been here since the 1600s. It's been like that even in my life. Right here to 2024, I see how people in my job, every job I worked at, I'm the tall, dark-skinned dude, dreadlocks. What do you think that does to other races? They try to, I could see it in their eyes. Everything, like my dad taught me something when I was a kid. He said, boy, he said, you want to know, basically in so many words, he was saying, you want to know the sincerity of a person, you always look them right here. I know, like, let me turn my camera on. What he says, if you want to know the sincerity of a man, you look them right here. What's right here? This is the in-between zone between both of their eyes. That's where you can tell if a man's lying. That's where you can tell a man's confidence. That's when you can tell a man is serious about what he says, is by his eye contact. That's one of the greatest. And I'll say shout out to Leonard Brown, my father. That's the realest thing he had taught me that I see was true. You feel me? And I apply it to my everyday life. So getting back to more of Umar's point, Umar also said that we must respect our elders. One thing as a pet peeve of mine is when my generation, millennials, try to always attack the older generation for everything they did right. Did wrong. But let's give them credit for what they did right. Yeah, we do movements and stuff today, but we don't have any moves like we had like in the 60s against Jim Crow, against all that. We like to talk about the old folk talking about they took this, they took that, but they didn't. A lot of black men died. Let's just talk about black people. A lot of black men died to advance us to the young black men that we are today. So when an older person talks to me, even if I feel like they own some BS, I will still listen out of respect for that man. I believe there's a scripture in Titus in the Bible where it talks about the elderly men. Elder men are supposed to train, raise, and teach the younger men how to be what? Self-control, like I said earlier. Remember that list I gave earlier, guys? Self-control, perseverance, endurance. Not be slaves to wine and things like that. And a man's supposed to teach them, elderly men are supposed to pass on the knowledge to the younger generation, right? The women too, but today I just want to concentrate on the men because I want to do a show about men because I'm going through something like most men are going through things where we're misunderstood, we are misrepresented, and we are misinterpreted in the direction of the things that we're trying to do for the greater good that sometimes get taken negatively. So adding on to Umar's point, I agree with him on that. As younger generation, when an older person talks, even if you feel that they on some BS, listen. And if you have a disagreement, wait till they finish and then say, you know what, sir, I agree here, here, and here. But I think we need to discuss this last point you made, because this last point you made, I have a little bit of issues with what you said. You feel me? You feel what I'm saying, guys? This is a formative type of conversation today. I'm going to play some more clips, and and basically, if you guys get the pattern I'm doing today, I'm going with these clips, and I am giving my background on each one of these, because each one of these have to do with men and the things that we actually go through. You get what I'm saying? Men's Appreciation 5. Is this another clip right here? Let me see. But yeah, well, this one, I don't want to play this one because I do, but I don't want to enter the gender war thing. But there's things that I wanted women to understand, black women, especially about black men. But I might stay away from this one because I don't want to run anybody away, because these subjects can be sometimes hard to speak on because people will hear something be triggered. But I really want this to get through. So I'm going to hold off on this one that I was going to play, because I really want this work to be, I feel like I'm doing the Lord's work, at least talking to my people. You get what I'm saying? And trying to get us, I want men to be heard. You get what I'm saying? And let me see. I think there's another one. Okay. Is this the Men's Appreciation? Well, I already played this one earlier. So, okay. But anyway, I'm just going to give a synopsis and a breakdown of where I stand on this. Again, guys, men, let's talk about the history of men. What's called in college, they call it anthropology, the study of mankind, or the study of men, or the understanding of how men operate. Since the dawn of time, even in the Bible, men were important because of what we bring to the table. That's more than money. That's more than my car. That's more than my house. Because all three of those things I named needed men's minds to create, from the dollar bill to the car to the buildings in which we live in and walk from and enter from day to day. Men have built society, organized society, has given their lives to protect society, if you include military people and the soldiers and things like that. I believe that there's an attack on masculinity in the world today. And part of this attack is by not acknowledging, nor not respecting, nor giving the flowers to the men who deserve it. Absolutely that a man is not supposed to expect anything for doing the right thing. Absolutely the man is not supposed to get praise for handling his obligations. Absolutely a man is supposed to do the things he's supposed to do. It goes back to what I preached about integrity earlier. However, with everything you do in life, encouragement always pushes a person to do more. And one thing men do is we look at the track record of people, other men, and what they do. If we look at the track record, like how Umar said, of older men, we have, as younger men, have to think. Even not just between our fathers, grandfathers, stuff. Let's look at men since the beginning of since the world. We organize society. We've made things even simpler for us to live amongst each other, having laws to hold each other accountable. Even with our women, you know what I'm saying? We have organized a society that makes them safe, laws that protect them from getting, raped. On social media. Sexually essay and raped. That's probably I think how they say it on YouTube. That without getting canceled. That's how they say grape or whatever. I know it's silly, but this is what social media in the world book of StreamYard and stuff told me to do. But anyway, back to the point. Men have organized society to where both men and women benefit. And I believe for the things that we have invested in are as far as our time, resource, money, and our lives. Life is a resource because you only get one of them. That's more rare than money. That's why you're supposed to choose anything dealing with life more than money, because you only get one. And once that's gone, that's it. So I respect everything that the men that I know have done before. You get what I'm saying? And so I just wanted to preach on this today. Not preach, but I want to speak on this today to talk about the things men go through and the things that encourage men to keep going forward, even when this BS and stuff is happening along the way. You get what I'm saying? So I think I got one more clip I want to play because these are only like 30-second clips and things like that. But I wanted to talk about this because men have a perspective too. You get what I'm saying? Men have built the world that encourages society to keep going forward. You get what I mean? And with that being said, I'm not going to keep you guys too long, but I will send a link on Facebook so people could come on. I know if you guys are on Instagram, I told you it's easier to bring people up on Facebook. So please just come with me to Facebook, and please just, if you want to come up and talk, just click on the link and do what StreamYard asks you to do and required to let you up. And I will let you up and we can have a discussion. Now I won't be on for long, guys. I won't be long as I usually am. So try to expedite this and try to get in here quickly as possible. You feel what I'm saying? Now I'm going to put this link. That's why I'm trying to buy some time so I can put this link in there so that everybody can come up. This is an important subject of mine that I like to talk about. I'm gonna send a link to certain people. Maybe want to come up and have a discussion. I'm gonna go ahead and put the link. All right, guys, I'm putting the link. I'm giving it to a few people. Devin, I'm gonna send the link to you. James, I'm gonna send a link to you, and one more person. I'm probably going to send the link to so we can have a discussion. Where is Ryan? Where are you, Ryan? Let me find you real quick. And shout out to my boy Ryan Yancey, big supporter. I appreciate everything you done for me, bro. Looking out. I'm gonna give you the link too. Okay, I've given certain people the link in case they want to come up, but I just would like to say this about men. Men. Not only were we the builders of society, but we are the protectors of society. When you think about all the biggest war in which we lost the most amount of soldiers was here on American soil with this Civil War. Yes, there was a lot of black men that fought, but let's talk about men in general. I'm going to include white men in this too. Do you know how many young boys gave their lives? Remember what I said? Life is a resource and it's a rare one because you only get one. You only get one. So a lot of men have gave their lives and did the things that require a man to be a man to make sure that the generation after him is good. That's what men do. We invest our lives in the thoughts of our offspring and future offspring, even when they're not here yet, to understand what the assignment is. And the assignment is to make things better for the generation that comes after, And so we have to always keep mind of that. We must always keep in mind that men are a key essential of not just society, but of also the family.
My love ain't for everybody.
You feel what I'm saying? So I guess the point I'm making today is that the necessity of society are the men, because we need to push society. Our sisters need us. Our society needs us to continue to be strong. But right now, guys, I'm going to actually play a couple of videos again so that we can give people the time to come up here. But I just want to play Umar's because Umar's is pretty important. And I want people to listen to it again and feel what he's saying. Go ahead.
We as black men are so egotistical is because we're the only men in America who are not allowed to flex their masculinity in society without people being threatened.
Mm-hmm.
This is why we always lead with our chests stuck out. We always leading with our bravado, our machismo, our male ego. Why? I can't flex my masculinity in the stock market, at least not up until now. You understand? I can't flex my masculinity on my job. I can't flex my masculinity in the political world. Anywhere the black man goes, if he stands confidently in his masculinity, he's considered a threat. So now let me bring it back to what you just said, because it's related. The reason why your elders and my elders, and I'm dealing with this right now, by the way, on the political side, older black men intimidated and envious at what you've done with your life. First of all, don't react to the envy. You have to humble and discipline yourself not to react to the envy, because if they had the opportunities you had, they wouldn't be envious. So there's a humility that we have to flex in the presence of our elders. Respect their struggle. You feel me? Come to them humbly. Sometimes you got to dim your light to make the elder comfortable. That's okay if you're doing it in the long-term interest. The reason why we as black men are so egotistical is because we're the only men in America.
Okay, guys, I'm going to actually play another clip. This is for the ladies. If you're trying to understand men better, here for the ladies. Here we go.
Out here, man, who done made the change to be the man that they need to be within their marriage and get crucified for it. And this is a perfect example of that, right? Like, you'll have women who, when you out there running the streets, you stand out to 3 a.m. and you with the boys every night and at the hookah spot and on the holes and all this, that, and the third, your woman is giving you the best of herself because she's trying to prove to you that she's worth settling down for. And then once you say, you know what, I believe you. I'm going to chill on going out. I'm going to be a domesticated man. I'm going to be about you. I'm just going to focus on what it is that we building. All of a sudden, you boring. So all of a sudden, she start wilding. She start acting a fool because you're not the man that she was chasing before. It's so many good dudes out here, man, who done made the change to be the man that they need to be within their marriage and get crucified for it. And this is a perfect example of that, right? Like, you'll have women who, when you out there running the streets, you stand out to 3 a.m. and you with the boys every night and at the hookah spot and on the holes and all this, that, and the third, your woman is giving you the best of herself because she's trying to prove to you that she's worth settling down for. And then once you say, you know what, I believe you.
I'm going to comment on that briefly. I don't like to do the man-woman debates on here, but he's right. You know, when men are out here doing our thing, it's because we're not ready to settle. That's true. But when a man knows the woman he wants to settle down for or be with, he's going to move differently. You get what I'm saying? Even in my relationship today, I move differently with my girl who I love and care about than I did with the women I was out in the streets that I was just dealing with, didn't care one way or another. I care about the opinion of my girl when she tells me something. I don't care about the opinion of the women I was just screwing. I have a respect for my woman that I don't have respect for the other women. Respect meaning that not only do I care about what they say, but also care about their well-being. Am I ready to fight? I'm ready to fight for my girl because that is my woman and I love her. You get what I'm saying? And when you love a woman, you're going to do the things you need to do to take care of that woman, to show that woman that you do love her, you care for her, you want her to know that you're there always. But women have to appreciate that. It may take a minute because just like y'all been through stuff as women, we've been through stuff as men. We don't want to waste our time with a woman we don't feel is worth it. So sometimes it may take us a little longer to get in that domesticated zone that this man was speaking about. However, nonetheless, it was necessary for this to be said. You know, you got to give us a time to settle into that. So shout out to this brother. I think his name is Trill. I watched a few of his clips before. Good brother. Good support his channel. Let's hear. I'm gonna play a little bit more of the Andrew Tate one, and then I'm gonna go ahead and close the show out. Okay. And do a little bit of the Andrew Tate one, and I'm gonna close this show out. Okay. Okay.
Woman to make a man really happy with super basic things. Just go up to your husband and say, hey, you know more about this. What do you think about this? That would make most men's world. There's so many sexless marriages out there with men who work their ass off and they come home to a sexless marriage and kids who don't fucking even like them. If you were to just even ask him his question about some asinine bullshit, a lawnmower purchase, for example, he would feel so happy to feel like the man of the house. That's what men need. They need to feel like all this work I'm putting in, all this shit I'm going through, I'm respected for it. As soon as a man feels like he has no respect, that's the absolute end of a man's interest or a man's tolerance of a situation. I think that's the reason it's happening. I know a lot of men who completely love their wives. They love them with all their heart. They die for her. But he's just not respected in his house. He doesn't get to be the man of the house.
Is it on him or is it on her? Like, does he need to go earn it or is it on her to provide it?
It's a combination of both. I think it's certainly on him to earn it, but also the Matrix programming is counter to him. The Matrix programming is trying to tell him that he shouldn't be allowed to be the man of the house, that he shouldn't be allowed to have any kind of authority in any regard. He shouldn't be allowed to be able to say what happens. The Matrix programming is saying the absolute opposite all the time. And if that's getting into your woman and you don't have that much influence, and that's getting into all your children, you don't have that much influence. Now you're coming home to a household where everyone just thinks you're the dude who should just fucking work. You're just a worker droid. You're the slave. You're the robot. And your feelings don't matter and your authority doesn't matter, and get fucked. And this is very conscious. If you watch any Netflix show, the mother is the smart one and the man is the bumbling idiot. Turn on a show. I dare you, turn on a family show. The mother is the one, hey, calm down, I'm smart. And the man's the look, oh, beer. Watch any of these shows. They're trying
Guy, the
all of it,
Married with Children,
any of it, all of it. They're reducing the man to just a bumbling idiot. And it's very hard, I think, for a lot of men to accept being in a position of constant disrespect. I'll tell you this now. If I had to choose a long-lasting marriage with a woman who loved me or a woman who truly respected me, I might choose respect over love. Even though they're the same thing for a woman, because she loves you, she respects you by default. But if I had to choose, I'd choose respect. I've been through too much and worked too hard and go through too much.
I agree 100%. I agree to the extent of this. I agree with him to the extent of I rather a woman respect me. And women do look at respect and love as the same thing, right? But I also, as a man, look at that like the same way. I don't believe you could respect me without having some form of love for me. I'm talking about from a relationship standpoint, because if you respect me, that should be the very thing that you love about me. He's a man of his word. Consistency. That's another one I forgot earlier to say. Consistency. If I'm consistent, that's worth being something, because most men aren't consistent even though they're supposed to be. Remember those nothing is, we're not living in a perfect world, but at the end of the day, there should be a perfect standard that even if you fall short of it, this is the standard. A man must be consistent. So if I'm a consistent man, that's something that you should respect about me. And that should also be the thing you love about me, because that means this man is a man of his word. Like if you trust me, that is because of my consistency. That's what you respect about me, but it's also the thing you love about me, which it should be that. So I don't believe love and respect from a relationship dynamic can exist one without the other. You see what I'm saying? So I believe a woman that loves you should also respect you. So to say I can love a man without respecting him, that doesn't work in my mind, because that wouldn't be love. If you only love me, but you can't love me any kind of way, you have to respect me. And it's easier for women to love the man that they respect for remembering the attributes they respect about him. That's what I would say. But go ahead. I'm gonna let it do.
Too much in day-to-day life to come home to my house and be having battles over asinine bullshit. I take care of you and I love you with all of my heart. I would die for you. If someone broke into this house, I would engage the invader and die. Please just.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with him on that. If you're a man worth your salt, protector and provision is what you're supposed to do. See, that's one thing a woman should respect about you. He's ready to give his life for me. I love this man who's ready to give his life for me because I respect that he would give his life for me and respect the idea that I'm here for her protection. You see what I'm saying? So I do agree with that. And ladies, when we come home, if we're going to protect, provide, love you, be consistent, have integrity, be doing the right thing, enduring, persevering, all these things. If I plan to be your man, I'm going to do all these things. These are all things you should respect me for. So your love should be there. I love him for this. He may get on my nerves here, but I love him for his consistency. He may get on my nerves here, but he's trustworthy. He gets on my nerves here with some other thing he's doing, but he has perseverance, endurance, character. He's uncompromising to what's righteous. That plays into part into the integrity. See how it all comes back to us being men? You know what I'm saying? So that right there is something to take a look at. Okay. All right, I'm gonna let him talk some more, then I'm gonna wrap this up.
Just cook dinner, please. Like, what do you want from me? What more can I do for you? Like, and once they feel disrespected, this is another thing about the world that a lot of people don't understand. It's disrespect that will drive a man to the most heinous of crimes. It's disrespect that starts the school shooter bullshit. It's disrespect that makes men go to jail for life sentences. It's disrespect. When you truly disrespect a man in a public and permanent way, that's when they switch. That's why I'm so respectful in public. You don't know who the fuck you're talking to. He might be on his last fucking straw. And you just disrespected, hey, you're a fucking bitch anyway, you're skinny motherfucker, fuck you. You don't know. That might be the last time he heard it. I've had enough. You don't know. Disrespect is dangerous, right? And in a household where you're constantly disrespecting a man, he's going to end up depressed and sad for even accepting it. Men just want to feel respected. It's not that hard to do. If you truly, I say to anyone watching this, if you truly love your man, it would be so easy for you to just make him feel respected. It doesn't even take actions. You can do it with basic words. Ask his opinion on something, big him up once in a while. And because we're supposed to be supermen and we purport ourselves as supermen and we're stoic, but we talked earlier about how we still feel everything. So when you're a strong man, especially, they're like, he's fine. He's fine. He's fine. He's fine. Be nice to the dude. You'd be surprised how far you get. But this is why I think most men walk out of marriages, because they're like, you know what? I'm not getting any respect here. I get more respect from this dickhead stripper, 18-year-old hoe for throwing money at her than I do giving money to my own wife. Where am I being respected? Well, at least she's...
Once again, there's degrees to everything, and I agree with him to a degree. Then I'm gonna end it here. That's very true, ladies. The truth of the matter is, I'm not saying this is right. I'm not saying it's right, but a lot of times, the two ladies, a man also cheats for the same reason he's saying. Because respected ladies understand, respect is so big to men that we believe that if you disrespect us, that could be more than just you cheating with another man. If you're always giving me problems or being irritated by me or saying hateful and weird words, that not all time, not all men, because I still wouldn't cheat just because me and my girl don't have a disagreement. But there are men who, as soon as they have a disagreement with their woman, there's an instinct in us and as men to say, you know what? I don't need this. I don't need her. I can go get me another woman that's going to do what? Listen to me, respect me, and all these things. Because your disrespect makes me disregard the things that you've done already. Because respect is what's big to men. Yes, I appreciate you cooking and cleaning, all that. I think you're doing that because you respect me. But if I feel you don't respect me, all these other things don't matter. And I could find another woman to replace you with. This is also conscious in a man's mind when sometimes before they cheat. I'm not getting what I want at home. So in my subconscious, I'm proving to myself and her, she found out that I really don't need you. That what one woman do won't do, another one will, plays more better for a man's hands because If I'm getting disrespected at home, I can find a woman that, if all I'm getting from you is good sex at home, I can find another woman to do that for me if you're not respecting me. So if the respect isn't there, and there's many things you have to cover there, but if the respect isn't there, men usually start looking their eyes elsewhere. And that's the same reason why men leave marriages when they do, because 80% of marriages, the divorce is enacted by the women. But when men do leave, or when men give them some solace, while in the 80% of those women divorcing them, those men, it's all, well, I was being disrespected anyway, so I didn't need to be here. You get what I'm saying? Respect is very big to men, and ladies should understand that. It's not to pick on the women, but I'm just saying I agree with certain things he's saying up until that point. You know what I'm saying? Respect is big for men. I don't have as many people coming in today, so I'm just going to go ahead and end this show. And yeah, and I just want ladies to remember, men can we go through a lot to keep society going. We go through a lot to keep houses going. We do go through a lot just to build a household. We go through a lot just dating to see if this is the woman I want to build with. And with all the things men have done to build society, not just have we built society, civilized society, and have decided to protect society. When we look at the army, all things that men have set up is for the benefit of not only men, but the women as well that come under the tutelage or under the understanding and the protection, provision, the passionate love, and the consistency when dealing with men. And the respect is love. There is no love for a man respect, even if you don't love him, but just on a friendship level. But the love that you have for a man, ladies, it's all based on respect. Even if you have friends, when a homie says, I got love for the homie, right? That love that you got for the homie is the things that you respect. You respect him even for being like yourself, or something that he does different than yourself that you see him do well. All that comes, that's still a form of love and respect, have to match. But within a relationship, not just with male camaraderie, but relationships especially, that has to be there. Respect and love. These are my 5 attributes, and then I'm going to end the show. 1, being uncompromising to what's righteous. 2, be in self-control. Here's some more I forgot to say. Self-disciplined, meaning keep yourself in line. No one has to do it for you. Self-preservation, thinking about yourself, not from a selfish standpoint, but because before you can help somebody else, you got to make sure you're straight first. So always making sure you're straight. That's how you know you're ready to take care of family. You can make sure you yourself are straight. You get what I'm saying? Another attribute, like I said earlier, perseverance, pushing through stuff even when it gets hard, enduring, going through things while on your goal to get somewhere. Like right now, I just re-signed myself up for cybersecurity classes. You know what I'm saying? And I'm very proud of that because though I was struggling with it a little bit before, I have now did what? Persevered and endured by finding another way. And God made a way for me to get back into this program that I can now pursue my goal. Yes, the computer information analyst is a 6 figures and plus. Yes, these things exist. But at the end of the day, it's the perseverance and endurance that's going to help me get through that program. And that perseverance and endurance is something even of God, because what did I say earlier? He said, those that endure to the end will be saved. Then there's, of course, being spiritual, having a connection with God is part of being a man, because that's where the guidelines of where a lot of these things I'm saying come from. A lot of things I'm saying is coming from the Bible itself. Even if I put it in my own words. Man must be focused. You feel me? Man must be self-conscious, understand where he's at, where he's going through, where he's trying to be. You get what I'm saying? Recognition is big to a man, because you're not supposed to be praised for what you do, but I think you should be respected for what you do well. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what another thing is, a push. It goes back to the drive I said a man should have. And so with that drive, that push, that also comes with a sense of being sober-minded too. It's okay to have a drink or two, but always be sober-minded. Don't be drunk, not just with liquor, but with anger. Even God said in the Bible, he said, don't be drunken with anger, to give the devil room to tempt you. You know what I'm saying? That comes to self-control. Do you see how all these things play together? That's how you know this is all the things that I just named fun to mesh together and create the male character. And ladies, if you want to pick a good man, they should have this character. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not even saying I'm perfect, but I believe this is the best way to go about not just picking mates, but also picking mates that you can use to create families. And those families will become communities, and those communities become society, which makes up this country called the Great America. All right, you guys. God bless you guys. Be safe. Another thing, as far as this is men, always stay focused. Remember your goals and pray on them. And that's all I got to say. Is JB representing JB Speak Easy, the Black Platform, Black Men Speak Freely. I'm your host, JB9 Deuce. Y'all take care. Love you.